First of all, he's not here right now, but I know the two gentlemen to my left are two of the classiest people in the sport. So I want to recognize Adrian Granados, who really fought with all his heart tonight and gave everything he had in himself. That's what makes that guy so entertaining, and he's the guy I think you're going to see back on television because he earned it. It was clear to me that that Shawn got hurt in this fight. I could see him, using only one hand for a good portion of the second half of the fight. I thought, and it was also a gutty performance by him to handle Granados so clearly when he wasn't 100%. So I'm going to turn it over now to Shawn at the Kenny Court.
It feels good to be back up here, a winner, champion. The silver WBC over here, and I'm proud of that. It looks beautiful. As Lou DeBella explained, we worked really hard tonight. We worked really hard before we got here. And we knew what we were up against in Adrian Granados, and he brought it all. He brought it all. We gave it right back to him. Every time he came at me, my dad's instructions were to hit him in turn, make the fight look easy, make it clean. That's what I try to do. I think about maybe the 5th or 6th round is where I hit him flush with a jab, and I felt a little sting in my hand, and it just kind of continued from there. It wasn't every punch that I hit him with, but periodically throughout the fight, each round I would feel something. And I actually came back after maybe the 5th or 6th round. My dad said, "What's wrong?" I said, "Nothing." I said, "What's wrong?" "Nothing." "Well, tell me what's wrong." I said, "Nothing." "All right." And then he continued to coach. But by the 10th round, I think it was pretty evident that what was going on was, I really hurt my hand, my left hand, my jab hand, my best hand, my favorite hand, and I really did. At that point, when I hurt my hand and I couldn't use it, I kind of felt I felt the feeling of, what am I gonna do? And my dad told me exactly what to do. I thanked my dad for pushing me through the last 3 rounds. It was keeping me focused, keeping me in the right frame of mind, and pulling out the gut that Lou alluded to, that you saw in the ring tonight. So I'm very proud of my performance. Definitely had to take a look at my performance and make sure it was everything that I thought it was in the moment, and obviously right all the wrongs and try to keep cleaning it up. But right now we're looking at just doing our post-camp, which is recovery and a little bit of movement as well, and doing the best we can to get back going as soon as possible. Doctor said x-ray this. He says he thinks it may be fractured, and get a good look at it and rest it as long as possible. So that's what we are prepared to do, but we are also prepared to fight Keith Thurman as soon as possible. I don't have that WBC silver title for no reason. They told me what I got after this. That's Keith Thurman. So we're gonna do our best to get that. Any questions for myself, or my dad? You got anything you want to add? Did I say it all? Come on up here.
Any questions? Please raise your hand for a mic.
You did say it all, but I will say this. Throughout Shawn's career in sports, not just boxing, track and field, football, and he's played all sports, basketball, and he's never had an injury. It was one of those situations that he's never dealt with before, and I saw a look on his face that I've never seen before that told me that he didn't know how to deal with it. He didn't know how to deal with it because he's never had it. So if you play football from the time you're 8 years old, every season through high school, and you played it on a high level, USA Today Player of the Week and Old Spice Red Zone Player of the Year, if you've never been injured, if you've boxed all these years and never had any injuries during the competition, it's a shock. And it was a shock to him. And the only thing that I could think about at that time was to try to keep him focused and use what he had yet left, which was his conditioning, his physical tools, as far as his movement and things like that, and his right hand. I thought about switching him to southpaw, but we've never fought southpaw before. So
I thought about it.
you thought about it?
Yeah.
So we didn't do that.
You might see me. I'll switch a little bit now, go right back. Yeah. Switch just a little bit now, move back.
Yeah. But he made it through it. We were counting down not just the rounds, but we were counting down the punches that would land, and I was watching his face wince up, and we were also counting down the minutes. I had one of my guys in the corner telling me when it was 2 minutes and 30 seconds, when it was 2 minutes, when it was a minute and a half, and we were just trying to use the strategy of landing the punches that we could land without injuring it even more. And he continued to try to throw it, but he made it through it. I'm very proud of him for making it through it. I don't know anybody else that could have made it through it in that situation. And the flip side of that, great fighter that we fought tonight, fought with all of his heart and tenacity and grit and everything that he had, and I give him props and respect. But the flip side of that is, if Shawn had succumbed to the injury, this kid would be the WBC champion without winning a round, pretty much without, without winning, majority of the rounds at all. He might have pulled out the last couple because we were being really defensive and moving a lot, but I thought that would have been a shame that Shawn had, not trained just for this fight, but his whole entire life for these type of moments, and to lose it to an injury. So I'm glad and proud that you were able to push yourself through.
Andy Emilio, ES News. Shawn, great heart, first and foremost, congrats, great chin, obviously. Gotta ask, I spoke to Keith Thurman while he was here during the Charlo fights. He pretty much ruled out, any comeback fight against a big name fighter. He said he fought 2 dogs in a row and needed to fight a puppy, verbatim. So how will the scheduling work out, and are you gonna have to do another, fight like this before you fight Keith Thurman, get that rematch?
To answer that question as simple as possible, I'm gonna let my dad take over. We're gonna do our best to make that fight happen. I understand he's coming off a long layoff, and he wants to make sure that he's fully prepared for someone like Showtime Shawn Porter. We'll do our best to respect that and do our best to give him the time that he needs, but with the understanding that we want to fight you and making that fight happen. Other than that, I'm gonna do what I always do: get back to training, and whoever they tell me to fight, that's who I'm gonna fight. Even with Adrian Gonzalez, not a lot of people knew Adrian Gonzalez, but we came here and we both put on a fantastic performance. I just landed more cleaner, harder shots than him.
Well, as far as that's concerned, he already fought a title eliminator here in this building and beat Andre Berger. And he fought another title eliminator tonight. I don't know a lot of fighters that would do that, especially this day and age. I mean, done it back in the days, but not here in this day and age. He shouldn't have to do that again. He shouldn't have to go through anything like that again. What he put himself through tonight shows that not just the physical part of it, but the mental part of it that it takes for him to push through something like that. He's deserving of the fight with Keith Thurman. So we will allow him to. We respect him as champion and respect the fact that he was out with an injury as well. We'll allow him to sort that out the best way him and his handlers deem necessary and fight who they feel that they should fight. I understand his thought process, not wanting to come back and fight a top fighter at this point. Let him do that, and then when the dust clears, we'll be there waiting. We're just going to work on other things like our right hand and both legs, and the mental sharpness will maintain that as well. So, but we'll be waiting when he's done. We won't fight anybody else until he's ready to fight.
Shawn over here. Right here. Congratulations, Kenny, you too. Shawn, one of the things you had said leading up to this fight was that you knew that Granados had a handful of losses, but all of them have been by split decision, majority decision. You talked about wanting to be the first guy to hang a real authoritative, clean cut, no doubt about it, loss on this guy. Can you talk about your sense of satisfaction in being the first one to do that against a guy that obviously is a good fighter, but not with you tonight?
You know what? I came in here prepared to knock him out. And I hit him with some pretty hard shots, some things that I thought I might see him come a little bit off of his feet off of, and that never happened, so I'm not questioning my power, my abilities, or anything like that. I'm taking my hat off to him. My dad even screamed one of the earlier rounds. He said, go to the body. He knows how hard his head is. And I heard that, I understood that, and I definitely think I should have went to the body a lot more throughout the fight. But neither here nor there. It feels good to get another great win in front of an exciting crowd, and just, I feel blessed to be able to do what I do as always.
And I've done so with no questions. Like, he can't say it was a majority decision. He can't say
Yeah, I heard him, when I was getting out of the ring, saying that he was robbed, and I've never been on that side of the fence. I've never beat someone and they said, I got robbed by you. So that was a little bit of a surprise to me. I got some surprises tonight. I got a little bit of an injury, something I never heard before. But we're gonna keep it rocking and rolling. And I'm sure he will too, but we're going to keep it moving past him. I beat him decisively, unlike any other fighter out here, and I wish him the best.
Which hand was it? I missed that.
On my left hand, yeah. I'm not going to keep saying it though. Nah, I don't want nobody taking notes
I don't know if anybody picked up his strategy early, but his strategy early in the fight was to get Shawn to come to the inside so that he could use his head. His strategy was to open up Shawn's previous cuts from the last fight. That was his strategy. And that's the reason why I constantly yelled at Shawn to stay outside. And early in the fight, he told Shawn, come to me. Because he knew if their heads were close and there was an incidental clash, that Shawn's eye might open up and that would give him a chance to win the fight. And that was his strategy. I'm able to, going into my 28th year, I'm able to be able to decipher exactly what somebody's doing at this point, which was the exact same thing happened with Berto after the first round. And I seen redness over Shawn's eyes. I said, shit, he's going to use his head. Well, when two guys are 5'7" and they're both coming forward and they have the same physical build, it's not hard for those heads to collide. And it's not very hard for a guy like him to just put his head here. So this is a part of boxing, I understand that, and this is something he's going to have to deal with, but he was able to fight on the outside and be successful doing so. Good job on that.
Good evening, Shawn. Nice to see you again. I'm Gareth Davis from the Telegraph and TalkSport in the UK. I just wanted to ask you, we know you're an alpha male and you're very competitive as a man, but you're a gentleman as a fighter. How much does it eat at you about wanting to get back in there with Thurman? Do you think about it every day? Do you wake up thinking about it? How do you feel?
I tell you what, it was eating at me that I couldn't finish this fight the way I wanted to. When the bell rung, everyone in the crowd knew that I wanted to fight, but I couldn't smile because I wasn't able to finish the fight the way I wanted to. That really, really bugged me. Really bugged me. I've never had to, like my dad said, fight through anything like that. And so I was just so, grimy about not being able to finish the fight the way I wanted to. And that's the competitive spirit of me, Before we get to the back room, I'm already asking my dad, how do you think I did? And my dad looked at me, he said, Shawn. I said, I can't turn it off, So that's the competitive spirit of me. Same thing goes with Keith Thurman. I use a lot of imagery, So a lot of times I'm either on the track, thinking about what I should have done or what I could do, what's going to happen next time, things like that. But it's not always just Keith Thurman. But right now it is a majority of what I do is geared around fighting Keith Thurman again and beating him.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I'm not, to answer your question, I'm not stressing about it. I'm not stressing about it. I'm not completely, heartbroken that I haven't been able to fight him yet.
Yeah, Shawn. Danny Garcia's also got a loss to Keith Thurman earlier this year, and you've been vocal about wanting to fight Danny Garcia. I don't know the extent of your hand injury and how long it might keep you out, but given
maybe
all
just to get him in the ring with me.
Oh,
maybe this will. We, those are really the two names that I've been wanting to get at for a long time. Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia, big names. On both sides, big fights all the way around. It's great for our careers, and definitely another fight that I would love to have. You know, like my dad said, we're gonna wait for Keith Thurman to say what's going on, and but moving past Keith Thurman, I think the only other guy out there I would want to fight is Danny Garcia. Sorry to cut you off too, but
No.
yeah, I knew where he was going. So.
Right here in the black hat.
Right here. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Can you detail or explain your relationship with Aerospace? Because it seems as though in media and your interviews you've been reluctant to talk about you fighting him. Are you and him close?
I'm not reluctant to talk about fighting Errol Spence. I just feel like right now with him being a IBF champion and, you know, me being, 3 years past that now, that, you know, to me he is not irrelevant, but he's just like on the other side right now. I'm going for the WBC title, this green title. It's something that I'm really passionate about, and that's why I continue to move forward past that. I'll tell you how close we are. I just got his number back in August. I hadn't had his number before August, and that was because he wanted to connect and play basketball when he came to Las Vegas. So I made that happen for him. But outside of that, I don't text him. He doesn't call me or anything like that. But you know, when we see each other, as always with every fighter, we respectful and cordial with one another. But it's not a relationship where we talk all the time or anything like that. My dad and I, we went over to England to support him, hoping he would bring that belt back here to the States, and he did that. I'm happy for him. But you know, when it comes to me fighting Errol Spence, I think that's just a matter of time as opposed to, you know, me shying away from it.
Right here.
Shawn, Chris Connor from Last Talk. Congratulations on a great fight.
Thank you.
Worst case scenario, Garcia says no. Thurman doesn't want to fight until maybe after the Spence fight.
Yeah.
What's plan B? I mean, what do you guys have in mind if they say, well, we'll fight you, but in 9 months, 10 months? Is there anybody else you have in mind besides those two? Would you go up to 154 for a big fight?
We fought in April, and we told them we wanted to fight again before the end of the year. And neither of those guys were ready or willing, and we found Adrian Granados. So, I mean, I guess maybe worst case scenario, we'll do our best to find another good fighter out there to go up against. But, you know, as always, my dad handles, you know, that side of everything.
There's really no reason to fight anybody else, contrary to what, 1 + 1 = 2. We just fought 2 title eliminators. We're fighting 2 title eliminators. As far as the IBF champion is concerned, Errol Spence, why would we be fighting all these title eliminators if we was trying to get to him? We're not even rated by the IBF. Okay, so there's absolutely no reason for us to go that way. Eventually, I fully expect Shawn to fight Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, and the kid that's moving up, Terrence Bud Crawford. I fully expect that. But reality speaking, we just put everything on the line again for the WBC. So there's absolutely no reason to go anywhere else or to fight anyone else but him. Plus we got a little hand injury, we gotta let that heal. So while we're letting that heal, we continue to work, but while we're letting that heal, and they're doing whatever they're doing, that smoke clears, we fought for the right to be there twice now. Okay, we fought for the right to be there twice. We didn't fight anybody in the IBF. We're not rated by the IBF. We don't have any intentions of going that direction. We can fight, but we've put the work in and we've earned the right. He has earned the right to fight Keith Thurman.
How are you, Shawn?
Good.
Happy belated birthday. How old did you turn the other day?
Just turned 30, man.
How does it feel?
I've been doing this a long time.
It feels like you're a veteran now. You've been in some big fights.
Yeah.
How mature do you feel as a boxer now? Now you're 30 years old. You're not a young buck anymore. How does it make you feel that you've been in the ring with the best and are still looking for the best?
Feels great. It feels great. I think I'm in a very blessed position right now. I think I'm, doing my best to do all the right things, and then, whether you guys like it or not, my dad is right next to me making sure I do all those right things, Yeah, if y'all want to give him a hand clap, I would love that. My dad.
Yeah, Dad.
not to pat myself on the back because I don't need that. All I need to be is his dad. And when this boxing thing is over, I'll still be his dad. Nobody's interviewing, nobody's taking pictures.
For a son to listen to you, that's precious.
Yeah, it is. But you know, he's an amazing person. So he lived with me for 28 years of his life. And he just moved down the street. I could probably throw a rock at his house. That's how close he is. But he thanked me more times tonight than he's ever thanked me in his life because he would have checked out of that fight because of this injury if it wasn't for me. And I'm quite sure there's not another coach that could have got him to continue with that. So it's just a testament to
I know I looked
the
at
closeness
him.
that we have.
I looked at him like, what you want me to do? You know, and he told me, obviously, you know, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, you sure? Like, I just, you know, I wasn't buying in, but, you know, the great part about it is when you're in such good health, such good conditioning, your mind is able to, you know, get that energy and that oxygen that it needs to think right. And when I was thinking wrong, he's not exaggerating. I came back to the corner. I don't know what my face looked like, but it probably was a face of, you know, where do we turn? Where do we go from here? And he said, Shawn, you got to make it through this fight. You got to do what you got to do. And, you know, he really just pulled me back in a matter of, you know, 20 to 30 seconds and back where I needed to be in order to believe that I could, you know, finish the fight, that I could be strong and, you know, and all that good stuff. And like I said to y'all before, I'm not happy about the way I finished the fight at all. But my dad made sure that I did the best that I could to finish this fight. You know? I think we got Deontay coming in.
Shawn, thank you, Kenny. On behalf of everyone that works with these two people right here and has the privilege of being involved when Shawn Porter fights, there aren't two better people in the business to work with. It's an honor and privilege to work with you guys.
My pleasure. Thank you guys. We'll see you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the baddest man on the planet.
Well, thank you guys for waiting so patiently. And I guess we got some great news tonight. I don't have to retire, so I'm still here. You know, it was a magical night for one. You know, I'm back in Brooklyn for the second time. What a great place to be, with an electrifying crowd again, to support and love. You know, being from Alabama and coming all the way over here to Brooklyn, New York, man, to seeing the love just like back home, man, it really touches my heart. You know, and I'm always filled with joy to come here each and every time to perform for you guys. And it was a magical night tonight, you know. And again, I said history. It's not a man that have fought me that I haven't knocked out. So I'm just ready to prove that I am the best, you know. That's all I want. You know, of course, Stiverne, for some, wasn't the best. You know, some already predicted it. I said I was going to knock him out, and I did that. And now, you know, over and over again, I keep sending messages out to the heavyweight division that I am the man to beat. I am the most feared. I do hit the hardest. You know, I am who I say I am. I don't say things just to say it because people have cameras in my face, or people have, you know what I'm trying to say. I just want to prove that I'm the best. I want to know for myself, you know. I say it, I believe it, and I'm receiving it. Now, I want to prove it to the world. So hopefully these heavyweights in the division see what I've done and don't get too frightened. Hope they want to feel the same way. I want to unify the division. The heavyweight division is too small to have so many champions, 3 and 4. I mean, well, 3. You know, it should be one champion, one face, one name, and his name's Deontay Wilder. Any questions, guys?
Deontay, good evening. Gareth A. Davis from The Telegraph and TalkSport. We've enjoyed you being over in the UK before. There's not many people here from the UK, and obviously we saw Anthony Joshua perhaps labour against Carlos Takam a bit last week. Can you give a message to the UK, to Anthony Joshua, about how you feel tonight after this and what we really ought to be seeing in the heavyweight division?
Well, just to Joshua, you know, y'all have seen me many times up on podiums, y'all have seen me on social media. You know, it's only so much I can say. I want to unify. Is he up for the challenge? Like I said, I declare war. You know, this is not a battle, this is war, because I want all the belts. You know, and I'm not looking for when I beat him, I'm not looking for the second time around, because it's going to be so bad and so brutal that the first time is going to be enough. It's going to be like no mas.
Is there a danger you scared off tonight, though?
I'm scaring heavyweights each and every time. Don't you see it? You know, I am the most feared. And if I'm not, then I want somebody to shut me up. I want somebody to prove that to me. I want to be proven wrong. But for right now, I don't feel like nobody's going to prove me wrong. Who has the guts? He can run for so long, for so far. You know, and I hate this. I hate this. You know, say this, but it seems like this has turned into a Riddick Bowe and a Lennox Lewis effect. And if so, then you need to go and throw those belts in the trash can, because I ain't gonna
Deontay, you talk a lot about like envisioning, and I was wondering if this is exactly the kind of dominating win you expected. 3 knockdowns, he couldn't get up, he's falling down on his face. And also, do you think that Joshua is looking at this and says, yeah, I want to fight that guy?
Well, I knew I was going to knock Stiverne out, you know. I kept saying, you know, when you fight a guy the first time, it's a learning experience. The second time is a learning experience as well, but the difference is you already know that person a little bit more than the second time, than the first time. And I knew everything about Stiverne. We had 9 different guys come in. I had 9 different great looks, you know. Some would say my sparring partner was even tougher, but, you know, the only thing that was different between the sparring partner and this is that I think I went more rounds in sparring this time. No disrespect, you know, because you must respect fighters in the ring. I tell people all the time, you know, I don't even like the term bombs. Everybody want to say bombs until you get up in there and you be the one that been dropped and become the bomb, you know. And we must respect fighters because they risk their life, and it's nothing to play around with. Especially with the mentality that I have as a champion, as a person. I have to be so hungry, I have to be so mean. You know, when a lion is hungry, they say it feel like they have been starving for a year, so when they see its prey, it's ready to eat everything, and that's how I feel like when I'm in the ring, like a lion, like a king that I am.
Snaps.
So, the second question, Lim?
Do you think he's looking at this performance and say, yeah, I want to fight?
Come on. Of course not. You know, if so, then he would have been accepted my offer. He would have been eager to fight me a long time ago. It seems like nowadays his promoter doing more to the talking than him. He's not even confident as a champion. You know, he want to put himself in a better position to beat me, but the thing about it is no better position to beat me. You know, that don't exist because I'm a hungry champion. I'm going to be around for a very long time. I'm on a mission. And when you're on a mission, you're not going to stop until you complete and accomplish the mission. So Joshua, you can run as fast as you can. I will catch you.
Okay, Joshua, I've covered boxing for 20 years. I've never seen a fighter knock out another fighter as the fighter was in a perfect defensive position and you still knocked him out. How are you able to do that?
As I said, I got Alabama country power. I mean, my power is real, you know. Nowadays, we don't even, it ain't no need of me getting on the scale no more, you know. I don't, you know, I'm always low when it comes to weight-wise and stuff like that, but we don't even really think about it no more, you know what I mean? The weight is going to be what it is. You know, like I said, I always tell the story that my grandma always said I was anointed by God. You know, I always say that she wouldn't even let my parents with me. She would get very upset if they did. You know, she would tell me, he's the one that's going to bring y'all up. He's the chosen one. Instead of disciplining me, she used to teach me. She used to talk to me. You know, she used to tell me things, you know. I was her favorite as well, too. So, you know, I definitely feel like I am the chosen one. I'm meant to do something great in this world. And I think boxing is just a platform that is going to allow me to really get to where I really want to go and what really God got for me.
Deontay, Chris Connor, last call. Congratulations again. We talked about last time we were here in Brooklyn with you. It felt like this card was cursed. You went from Luis Ortiz, Bermane, Stiverne. You have to share the spotlight here with the UFC. Anthony Joshua doesn't want to fight you. How much of this fight for you is just getting all that anger out, all the anger of being ducked, overlooked, people saying that you start this by getting guys to falsely test positive? How much of this was just taking all your anger out on Bermane, Stiverne?
I think it was all 100% of that. Every bit of what you said. You know, it was all everything in one big snowball. You know, it was just a snowball building up, building up, building up, building up. And especially with when the Ortiz situation came about, man, you know, I really broke down. I don't know, it was crazy. It took me back to my older days when my younger days when I was young, and when I used to huff and puff, and when I cried, you knew something, you better get out of the way because he was going to be a Tasmanian devil. And when Shelly called me, I'm like, and Shelly, you know, when Shelly calls me, I know when something's wrong, I know when something's going right by his voice. I can detect in his voice, and when Shelly called me, Deontay, I said, Shelly, get straight to the point. Ortiz spilled the drug test, and when he did that, you know, it's just my heart dropped to my stomach, and you know, I bust out with tears. You know, it was tears of anger because I want to prove myself so bad. Like I never wanted to prove myself so bad. Now, not to me, but to the world. You know, because so many people blame me for so many different things that don't have nothing to do with me. You know, I try to fight the best. I've called out the best. The best haven't accepted my challenge. The best always take an easier route, you know, and that's the facts of Deontay Wilder. This is nothing that I'm making up. This is nothing that I just all of a sudden just imagining. This is real life for me, you know, and I just want to prove myself. You know, I said it before. In Showtime, it's almost as if like you want to do something so bad, like if you constipated, like you just, you know, I want to prove myself, and I know after this that the heat is going to be on the other champions. You know, definitely Joshua, because that's who people want to see, and that's what I want as well too. So after this fight, you know, the pressure's definitely going to be on. You know, I think I've won a lot of fans, not only Americans but UK fans and people all around the world. So that's the mega fight, and that's the one I want, and we will get it. I don't say hope. I'm not going to say if. I'm going to speak it. I believe it. I'm going to receive it.
Hey, Deontay, congratulations. We're talking a lot about Anthony Joshua, and I know you want that fight, but since it doesn't appear as though that will be the next fight for you, or the next fight for him, frankly, you know, you're going to have other fights between now and then. What kind of fight could you have that's not Joshua that would at least interest you or excite you? Who else is out there that you could be interested to fight?
Well, we got a lot of guys in the heavyweight division. Of course, you've heard them run their mouth many a times. And we got a lot of up-and-coming guys as well, too. And, you know, we just seen one of the guys that I got history with, and it's not a positive history. That's in Brazil. So that could be a potential one next as well, too, while we wait, you know, for the so-called best heavyweight champion in the world. So, you know, we have options. We definitely have options. I don't want people to think that we don't have options, that I need a certain type of person, which I don't. You know, we have a lot of great heavyweights here. And we're going to keep American boxing alive, especially the heavyweight division. It have heated up, and it's just continue to flame and become even more heated as time goes by. So, you know, so we're just going to sit back. We're going to see what's going on. We're going to go to Joshua with them people. We're going to see what's up. See, can they not wait and make a date? If not, then we move on.
Hey, Deontay, Andy Emilio, ES News. Congrats. Big statement win. Kind of drawing a parallel here. I saw you pound your chest, and then you were standing over him. It kind of reminded me of the fight you had with Charlie Z, when you kept telling him, get up, get up. Like you just wanted to hurt him. Can you just like elaborate a little more on the emotions that were in the ring when Stiverne was knocked down and you wanted to fight him more? I've only seen you do that twice.
Yeah, you know, I was in my element. You know, I felt so great in the dressing room. You know, I was telling my people that I haven't felt this good in a long time. You know, it took me back until my early in my career, when I felt so great, when I was really blowing these guys out in the first and second and third round and stuff like that. And tonight, I felt that energy. I'm like, man, I feel so good. The gloves felt so great, like it was perfect. It was meant, you know. And, you know, pounding my chest and let him know that I meant every word that I say. I am here. Nothing you can do can stop me. Nothing you can say can stop me. Whatever you do, I can do better. Everything I told Stiverne, you know, I really meant it for him. I don't know if he meant what he said when he was referring to things that he said to me, but I meant everything. And, you know, even like I said, I meant everything. Even with the killing part, I meant that. I meant that. I do want a body on my record. But I mean, that's just the bronze bomber mentality. Right now, I'm Deontay Wilder. I'm calm. I'm at peace. You know, I bring love. But the bronze bomber, you just never know what he's going to say and what he's going to get. But it's real. It's real. Everything is real. And thank God that he survived to see another day. You know, Deontay Wilder want everybody to go home. He want everybody to see a family. Because I have family. I have kids and I love to death. You know, and I definitely, you know, I say an individual prayer and we say a team prayer. In the individual prayer, I always say I want the guys to go back home, you know. And I know a lot of people will say I contradict myself, but they got to understand it's two different personalities. I'm Deontay Wilder outside, and I'm the bronze bomber on the inside, and it's really real.
Over here, champ.
I know it was only one round, but how did the right hand hold up? And you mentioned that glove. I know it was a new glove for you. How do you think that worked for you tonight?
The right hand is really great. It's I think that I had so much rest, you know, over the time to recover. My last fight was in February, so, and here we is now in November. So, you know, it's like a blessing in disguise that these guys are doing so much to delay so much of the fights or whatever, because the only thing they've done was help me heal this hand, and it feels amazing. With my jab hand, you know, I came with some good steam on that, and Stiverne had always been hard, even from the first fight. So the second fight, you know, I hurt my knuckles a little bit. It's just a little swollen, but it'll be okay.
I just want to say that you're an amazing dad, and your daughter's very lucky to have you. And I just want to say, are you willing to go to the UK to fight Joshua? Because you know, numbers-wise, there's a lot more people that go over there to watch those fights, and you can make so much more money than here. Or you want him to come here? No, I'm just asking. I don't know facts-wise. I'm just going by numbers-wise. What Joshua has performed out there, 90,000 people.
Shawn Peoples, everyone.
Sorry. I mean, that's what I see. That's what I see on TV. So.
No. What you do see on TV is more people, but not necessarily more dollars.
Gotcha.
When you go to Vegas, if they want this fight, they can put up more than anywhere.
I agree.
I wanted to say something else, though. About 6 weeks ago, and this was not public, I got a letter, an email from Eddie Hearn, and he said, if you fight Dylan White, we'll get you Joshua next. I couldn't get on the phone quick enough to him, and he didn't answer, and I said, "What's the matter? Why aren't you in?" He said, "Please give me a day. I just lost the fight with Pav, the one that he was supposed to Pula." So the next day, I said to him, "What's the deal?" He said, "What do you want to fight Dylan White?" I said, "That'll be made easy. When do we get Joshua?" Never called me back. Next, I've been around this game a long time. If someone wants to fight, they fight. Joshua said he wants to fight Deontay next year. Deontay just finished his mandatory. You heard what he wants to do. Joshua finished his mandatory. You haven't heard a word from him. If Joshua wants to fight, Deontay is ready. If it means the right deal to go to the UK, he'll fight him on the move. He'll go anywhere to fight him, and he said it. So there's no silence, there's no avoiding. It's up to Joshua, and if it's not, then he has his reasons not to.
Dan Rafael, you just said fight obviously won't happen next. They're going to do something else. Why can't it happen next? They literally fought 1 week apart. Neither one of them's hurt. They're exactly on the same schedule.
I don't know for a fact. I've just been around long enough to know this.
Right. No, and you're right. Because Anthony Joshua doesn't want to fight this man right now. Okay, I'll give you that. Eddie Hearn doesn't want Anthony Joshua to fight this man right now.
I don't think he want to fight me as bad as I want to fight him.
Yeah.
You came in a little bit lighter than normal at the weigh-in. Was that game plan?
No, you know, it's funny how my body works, you know, and in camp, I'm always heavier. I'm always like in the 230s or something like that. It's like when it's time to come to war, you know, it's always like my weight drop. And I don't take that, and I don't, you know, I done tried the chefs, I done tried the nutritionists, I done tried all that stuff. It seems like the same effect over and over again, so I've just got comfortable with what I am. I tell people all the time that I'd rather be the part than look the part. Looking the part, you know, it only gets you so far, but actually being that part, it gets you to where I am now. You know, so I don't really care about guys being more weight than I. You know,
it matter today.
It don't. You know, it would never matter. Not you know ever. You know, because one thing about it that people can't measure, nor can they weigh, is my heart. You know, it's big. It's heavy. So when these guys fight me, they better be ready.
And the last question, Luis King Kong Ortiz was in attendance for your fight. Do you have any thoughts on that?
You know, I'm not gonna even lie. When I saw him at the hotel coming out the elevator, I almost puked in my mouth because you know I got so much because of. When I say I got so much people throwing the fault at me, the blame at me. It ain't had nothing to do with me. Look, I was gonna pay a guy set aside money out of my pocket to fight him, to show you guys, to entertain you guys, and to prove to myself that I am the best. And what happened? I don't know. I don't care what reason that they said they came up with. You know, a lot of stuff not add up with what they say. How about just don't take nothing? You know, all of a sudden, you know, you fight this person, you fight that person, nothing come up, and all of a sudden, overnight, you get old and blood pressure pills come up as a masking agent and stuff like that. Come on, man. Like, you know, I would have loved to share the ring with Luis Ortiz, just like Povetkin and all of the rest of them. I would have loved to share the ring with them, man. Looking like for Povetkin, you know, I may end up sharing the ring with him as well too, because he's moving on up. At the end of the day, man, what does it do to catch it? Yes, sir.
You ready? Listen to this, right? Since the Povetkin camp, I don't got a question, I got like a statement. Since the Povetkin camp, that's the best I ever seen you was the Povetkin camp as far as training. When I came to train with you this time, it was something with your mindset that just was a lot more on point, your feet were everything. You really want to do bad intentions with Stiverne, right? So this fight reminded me of Tommy Hearns wanted to make a statement with a verbal drain, and he almost murked me. So you know what I wanted to say. Oh, snap! Remains the bird! You wanted it! You got it!
champion of the world. Probably the most charismatic heavyweight champion we've had since the great Muhammad Ali. I think I can say that. Is there a part of you that just wants to go to the UK to fight Anthony Joshua, or anywhere for that matter? Because Ali was famous for traveling abroad and proved, anybody saying, I'll fight you wherever you want to go and everything. Is there a part of you that just wants to have that as a part of your legacy?
I go anywhere. Like I said, my title says the heavyweight champion of the world. And with that being said, I'll travel anywhere. Anywhere. As to be a champion, I feel that you can't just be, you can't just fight in your country. You can't just stay, temporary where you are. Like, I wouldn't say temporary, or what he's trying to do is stay permanent in the UK because of what the things they got going on. That looks good over there and all that and stuff like that. But the mecca and the money will always be in America. Always.
And this is called prize fighting. So the fight should happen where the biggest prize is.
So I'll travel anywhere. All I want to do, like I said, don't wait and make the date, and Deontay Wilder will be there.
Deontay, congratulations on a big win to you and your team. Question, your ring entrance was probably longer than the fight. How did the collaboration or you and 50 hook up?
Well, 50 is a great guy, man. I know he makes jokes and stuff like that. I told 50 in the back he should start stand-up comedy or something like that, because he really is a funny guy. And with the relationship with me and 50, I really had to owe it to my brother Manu Jones right here. That's my brother right there, man. That's how it all started with Manu. And it's been on ever since. 50 really a great guy, and he definitely wants the best for people, and he want to put people in positions where they can benefit from it and stuff like that. So and he's a friend of mine as well too. He's into boxing. He loves boxing. He actually do it himself as well too. So the connection was easy, and I told him he should come out and walk with me, and the Mini Men song was perfect for the situation.
Last question. Deontay, do you think that the UK fans should hold Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua accountable for not fighting you and not support anything that's next, not Deontay Wilder?
Most definitely. They should do them like they did Jesus. Put them on the phone. They should throw letters and spit on them, and it's about that time. That's what the world want to see. I think it's a lot of fans in the UK want to see it, but I think it's a lot of fans that don't want to see it because they know what I bring. They know what I'm capable of doing, and they got a great thing going over there. So they want to continue to do what they're doing as long as they can. But the thing about it, it all has to come to an end at some point in time. He can only fight so many people. I mean, he shares the same division as I. And as you can see, it's a very small division. So our paths must cross at some point in time. And I'm saying, why wait? And let's make it now. Why wait? Who else can he fight? I know they got a lot of England guys, just like I got American guys, but really, people want to see the best fight the best. And I want to prove that I am the best, so I want to fight the best. If Anthony's the best, if Parker the best, put him up to the top.
All right, guys, give the champ a well-deserved
Thank you guys so much.